All right, what is up? Welcome to the Spoiler Kings. My name is Tank Kramer with Brian the Grizzly, Brandman Brandon, and we got two of our awesome chatters with us. B. Brandon Davis, been with us for a long time, and then Collector Movie Man over there on the other side. What is up? How are you guys feeling on this Saturday night?
You guys feeling good?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm awesome.
Okay.
I'm awesome. Even though I'm tired, though.
Yeah.
Because I was busy pretty much all day.
You know, it's Memorial Day weekend, so we have a lot of things going on, but that's why this is a perfect movie during this time because you have the extra time, you have some barbecuing time, and then you get some nice, time for Tom Cruise, Ethan Hunt,
nonstop action.
It's too cold here in Michigan for barbecue right now.
Oh yeah, I'm talking about. I'm out there with winter coat on barbecue.
It was like 50 degrees today.
Mm-hmm.
So nobody in my family wanted to come over and do a barbecue.
I hear you.
That's like that's perfect for me. That's like Friday night.
Ideal, right?
Yep. But cool. Yeah, so we're gonna talk about Mission Impossible, full spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, go check it out, come back and join the conversation. But we're gonna talk about everything, and there's a lot that is going on in this movie.
3 hours, it's gonna be a lot, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they cram it in there, which is awesome. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but yeah, so we're gonna get to the likes, our dislikes, our ratings, and everything like that. Before we do, Brian, you got a quick breakdown of what this movie's about?
Of course, it's pretty simple. You probably heard it before. Ethan Hunt and an IMF team race against time to find the entity, a rogue artificial intelligence that can destroy mankind. That's it.
There you go.
It's literally what it is.
It's saving the world.
Exactly. And no one knowing about it. And no one the wiser. And that's exactly what we get.
Yeah. Well, cool. We'll start off with B. Brandon Davis. What is up, man? How'd you like the film? What are some of the good things you liked about it?
First,
well, you're breaking up a little bit.
I said I do have a few other issues, but I'm gonna do the best that I can.
Okay.
One, I want to say I thank you all so much. I thank you all so much. Can you hear me? Am I breaking up?
Yeah, you sound good.
Yeah, you're good now. You're good now.
You're good.
Okay. Thank you all for having me on tonight. I really do appreciate that. Big Anthony, Brandon, I got the light. I got the X-Men 97 light. Thank you so much.
No,
that really meant a lot to me. It did.
I'm glad you got it, man. That's
Again,
awesome.
I'm still having a few audio issues, but I'm gonna grow through it the best way as I can.
Okay.
So what I'm gonna say about this starting off is that this is probably the best Mission Impossible ever made. And I know that's a strong statement from saying, depending on saying all the other movies they made, 4, 6, 3, this is probably the best one that they've made. I definitely enjoyed the pacing. I definitely enjoyed the fact how they tie part 1 and part 3 in together, because there were some unanswered questions. I enjoyed all that. I enjoyed the fact, and honestly, it really wasn't even a lot of action. It wasn't even a lot of action in the movie, but the suspensefulness of it.
There's a lot of suspense.
The suspensefulness of it. The way there was a lot of techno babble in it. That I'm like, I'm trying to keep up. But the way that they portrayed it, and even with the movie sets, so I'm even wondering if that was a real submarine set when he was on a George W. Bush. When he was captured, was that a real set? Was that something real? But they just made everything. They just made the way they made everything, the way they pulled everything together, the way they had the sets, even when they were in the Antarctica. It just looked so beautiful.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful. This was a perfect film. It was. There was nothing wrong with this film.
Okay. Okay.
Like there are a couple things that I do have issues with, and what I'll get into as far as my negatives. But as far as what I loved about this film, every single beat, every single hour were completely different. And again, this was a completely different movie versus the other ones.
Mhm.
It was. So this movie was, how can I say, darker than the other films. This movie was way darker than the other films. Because, a lot of the other films, all the other films were kind of lighthearted, blah, 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 somewhat. But this movie had a lot of darker content to it.
Mhm.
Now,
Yeah,
maybe
in
the
the world.
last beat, hour 3, kind of went back to the normal where it was lighthearted and they were doing stunts. But the first 2 hours, when he was in, even the first hour when Ethan Hunt was in the thing talking to the entity, all of that was just completely dark compared to the other movies.
Mhm.
They really, really, really made this like just a great film. But even if you had not watched part 7, the way they summed it everything up in part 8, you didn't even have to watch part 7
Mhm.
to know what was going on in my mind.
Okay.
Okay. I agree with that. Bring on a lot of that. So, but cool. We'll move on to Collective Movie Man. What's some things you liked about it?
All right. So some of the things I liked about it is in the very beginning they talked about how the entity has taken over and how it's spread like misinformation and how it's taking control of the government. And you can see that happening today in real world, like because a lot of news is all misinformation. And then with AI on the rise, you could
Mhm.
definitely see something like this possibly happening if we ever get to that kind of level of artificial intelligence. That's what's scary.
Mhm.
And that I thought was, oh my God, like, oh, that's like, I really don't want artificial intelligence.
Well,
And then I was really sad when Ben Ring, is that how you say his name? Oh,
Bing rings.
yes, when he died, oh my God, I teared up. And then,
When did he turn to Morgan Freeman?
what?
Right.
when he turned, yeah,
I'll talk about it when my
Yeah.
turn is right.
yeah.
Keep
Oh,
going.
sorry. And then the whole part where he jumps into the ocean to get down to the sub,
Yeah. Oh,
that submarine's whole scene. Oh my God.
He
I
should have
was
died
like,
like 5 times. There's
Okay.
literally
He
5
should've.
times he should have died.
I was literally grabbing my seat and holding on to it. I'm like, oh, is he gonna make it?
I knew it was 2 hours and 54 minutes, so I was like, he's gonna make it.
But when that one missile fell on top of him
Yeah.
in the submarine, oh my God. I was like, oh my God, just get out of there. Get out of there. That's what I kept on saying.
No, right. But that's got to go into
And
Yeah.
then when he was swimming up to the top to get up there, I was like, you can make it. You can make it. You're Tom Cruise. You can do it.
he can swim as fast as he runs.
right.
Yeah.
Look. That's why they kept saying. He is the only man that can do this.
Yeah.
That's why they kept saying that, and he was.
He's literally immortal Iron Man. He's literally
Yeah.
Iron Man.
He's,
Yeah, that's
he's a
true.
superhero.
And then I will say I am not a big fan of what's her name?
Who?
Haley
Haley Atwell?
Atwell.
Haley Atwell.
Oh my
Oh, really?
God.
I cannot stand her. I was so mad when Rebecca Ferguson got killed off because I felt that there was more emotional built with Rebecca Ferguson's character than Haley Atwell's character. And I feel like if it would have been Rebecca Ferguson's character, it would have meant more
He's
Tom
right.
Cruise.
Yeah.
Because you kind of see,
they didn't kiss the entire movie.
and you can see at the end of the last movie that they start building a relationship like, oh, maybe we could actually go out or something and still be spies and stuff like that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No,
And
he
then
don't.
and then Haley Atwell gets thrown in there, and I'm like, no.
No, movie collect. No, movie collect. He's right. He's right. Because, and I'm sorry, I don't want to. No, he's right. He's right. Because I'm telling you, every scene Haley Atwell was in, I said that should be Elsa Faust. Period.
Yeah,
Because
that's how I felt.
every scene, I had no, like, I didn't really have that type of emotional connection to Haley Atwell. I said that should be Elsa. When he was in that hyperbaric chamber decompressing from the bins, I said that should be Elsa Faust.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I felt.
That'll be an interesting conversation.
I get why they made her the last person to be able to snatch the thing, but that should have every scene. I said, why is that not Elsa Faust?
Because she died in
and
half.
that's something that I did not like about that.
Yeah,
All of that
I
should
did
be Elsa
not.
Faust.
I did not like that she died in the last movie.
I did not like it either that she died. I did not like that either.
I wanted Haley Atwell to die instead.
Yeah.
I
Well,
have
mean,
a couple other things that I have issues with as well.
Yeah. Rebecca Ferguson wind up like pretty much quitting, you know,
Yeah,
so that's why they
had to
killed her off.
Oh,
she
because
didn't
she
want to be in the movies anymore. So like that was the issue. It has nothing to do with anyone else.
Yeah. Well, it's not that she didn't want to be in the movies. It's she didn't want to wait 7 years, 6 years in between films because like sometimes they're super quick, sometimes they're not. And she wanted to go do other stuff. Yeah. Yeah. So I think if they would have told her like, hey, we got one more movie, I think she would have said fine, but by then they already killed her off, and then they decided, this or the Final Reckoning, and then
it would have been 5 years in between.
Yeah. So so that's why they wind up killing her off, because I do agree, like as much as I personally like Haley Atwell, Grace seemed like a very shoed in character.
Yeah.
There's two different things there. There's Grace and there's Haley Atwell. Every scene that Haley Atwell's in needs to be more of her being in the scene. She ain't got to talk. She needs to be sitting there in the scene.
Be there.
But the character Grace didn't hold my attention as much, but she doesn't have to be. I'm watching Haley Atwell. We got all these other people doing the stuff.
Grace was very much of a character of like, are they going to kiss? Are they not going to kiss?
Right.
I was asking myself the same exact thing.
Haley Atwell, so close together. Every single scene on that, are y'all going to kiss?
They're like right there, and they never.
Yeah.
That's probably in the contract.
I
ain't got kiss.
Right.
And then I actually heard this like on some sort of thing. He wasn't in there for very long, but I heard Tom Cruise actually jumped into that ocean.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
From the plane he was on. I'm like, oh my God, that water's got to be freezing.
Yeah.
Oh,
dude's an absolute madman.
Yeah. And then the part at the end with the bomb, and then the plane sequence, whoo, that was really cool.
The plane sequence was crazy. It was great though.
The plane sequence was insane.
It was. I kept thinking he was gonna fly off.
It should have.
They should have a few times
In real life.
Real life, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Trust me, your two hands ain't gonna hold all those G-force like that.
Yeah.
But it was awesome though.
But when Simon Pegg got shot, and when he was
Benji.
close to death, I'm like, oh no, one of my favorite characters is gonna die.
But no, but that was foreshadowed in part 7. That was foreshadowed in part 7, though. At the end, when he was saying, where it was this whole speech talking about, when we die and people, and then they were showing Simon Pegg. So we knew somebody from Ethan Hunt's team was going to die.
Yeah, but
I don't know why they chose Luther, and that's something I didn't like. Not the fact that he's black, but it's just the fact that how all of a sudden Luther just sick. They didn't allude to that or nothing. It was just all of it because he was fine in part 7. Then all of a sudden in part 8, he's sick. And he got a nurse and shit. He got a nurse and all that goofy ass shit. Like y'all didn't even do nothing with that. Y'all just all of a sudden.
The guy who played Luther, he did not look well.
Austin, what's the actor's name?
Ving Rhames.
Ving Rhames.
Yeah. Which
Right.
I'm
But what I'm saying is that what I'm saying is that in part 7 and none of the other Mission Impossibles, it Ving Rhames. And none of the other Mission Impossibles did they look at him being sick. Now all of a sudden, part 8, he's sick with a nurse. Where did that come from?
I have answers for all those things, but I would take it to me.
Okay.
But I just wanted to show this off real quick.
Please, Brian.
This is my ranking for the Mission Impossible movies. If you guys
number one should be part 8. Because part 8 is the best one. So far, part 8 is the best one.
I'm sorry, I still like number 6 the best. And then I just wanted to show these off real quick, and then we can move on to the next person. These are my prized possessions, and I'll be getting the other one eventually.
8 is so much darker. And
yes,
so much
it is
more...
a real dark movie.
I see.
Is this a steelbook?
I'm with you.
Yeah,
I didn't even know they had a steelbook for that one.
I'm with you.
I see
I'm
too.
with you. But look, they only in MI8, they only tied in MI1 and MI3. They didn't tie in any of the other movies. They only tied in 1 and 3. And I'm glad that they did that. So another dislike that I have is all of the flash forwarding scenes that they had. You didn't need all those flash forwarding scenes. Because you telling me the whole movie before we even got there.
They show
yeah, seriously, what's up with that?
Yeah.
That pissed me off.
Yeah, but some of them were like what if
possible,
and then some of them were actual. So
it's possible outcomes that could happen.
The kitty. Yeah, because they had a couple of them were like, oh, this is what's gonna happen, but then they had the ice blow up. So so it's like it's gonna happen, or so it's like close enough to scare him. I felt like, but it felt weird. Yeah.
But I just wanted to show those off. I hope you guys liked them.
I love those movie collector, man. Those are awesome.
Thanks.
I got all 6 of mine on 1, and then have 7 and 8. 7 and I have to order 8 now.
So, get 8. I went to the box set. I get the box set.
I'm sorry, y'all. I know. I know this went way off the rails. I'm sorry, y'all. But this movie just got me. So listen. Even with the flash forward scenes where Ethan Hunt was and then he was up underneath the ice, like y'all still come on, man. Y'all, we know he gonna survive that. But why are you showing me that, G? Now I can appreciate the fact that y'all showed the other flash forwards or the other movies. I can appreciate that. But why don't show me what's gonna happen in 20, 30, 40 minutes because I don't know that. G. Don't show me that.
Mm-hmm.
So that was something else that upsetted me about that movie. Then I'm gonna tell you what else upsetted me about the movie. They still did not get into Ethan Hunt's choice when Gabriel shot that girl. They didn't get into that, or maybe I missed it. What was Ethan Hunt's choice? What made him choose to go to the IMF when Gabriel shot that girl who looked just like Haley Atwell? Let's be honest with you, but they didn't get into that.
I'm trying to think which part that is.
Which movie that is? That was.
It was 7. Remember, it was 7. It was 7 and 8 because they just kept showing when Gabriel shot the girl. They just kept showing Gabriel shot the girl, but they never said why he shot the girl, who the girl was, and why Ethan Hunt was going to spend his life in prison if he didn't make the choice.
Was that one of those like those flash forward kind of like what if things?
No, that was a flashback.
No.
Flashback
30 years ago.
It might
Was
have
that
been
from the beginning of the film?
It's the first time they met.
It might have been the lady from the first Mission Impossible movie.
It was dead.
That wasn't in the first movie. Gabriel was in the first Mission Impossible.
What's the first time we saw?
No, because was that the flashback when he was tied up?
Remember,
I don't think it was. I can't remember.
Even if you pull up part 7, no, even if you pull up part 7, and you see Gabriel shooting that girl, and then Ethan Hunt is looking at that girl that Gabriel shot, and they're like, "This is the choice," you know what I'm saying? Or you spend the rest of your life in prison. Why did he shoot the girl? Why did Gabriel shoot that girl? Why was Ethan Hunt about to be given life in prison? That was never explained.
I don't remember that.
He's saying it was shoehorned. I gotta rewatch.
That's every flashback in part 7 and part 8. Because I'm wondering, because that's when we found out. That was when we found. Okay, but I'm saying that was when we found out about the choice. That Ethan Hunt was given the choice when old girl was shot. That's when Ethan Hunt was given the choice to either life in prison or join the IMF. But Gabriel, remember, Gabriel was the one who was supposed to train Ethan. But why did
the first time we saw him was in part 1, and we just didn't know what the connection was to Ethan Hunt.
Right. But remember, Gabriel shot that girl.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta rewatch it because it did tie into like a movie from 30 years ago.
But this is the first time Gabriel was in was part 1 of
right.
So this is just a behind the scenes entity they're showing from this thing that they actually didn't. We never saw.
Right.
So they just brought this thing in and just kind of dropped it in. But it's because this movie was so long they couldn't put every detail in there because of our point.
But in part 7, if you remember in part 7.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and check it out. I don't
if you remember part 7, that was the whole thing about who Gabriel was, Ethan Hunt's trainer and blah, blah, blah. And that's why Ethan Hunt joined the IMF because Ethan Hunt was given a choice in part 7 to life in prison or join the IMF because Gabriel killed that girl and he framed Hunt for it.
Well,
okay,
that's interesting. All right,
I would have.
Hey man, I watch these movies, bro.
I would say you're the guru of
I watch these movies, bro.
Them,
but they never explained who that girl was.
Why does she matter?
Yeah.
One thing I was gonna say is I liked how this movie like tied into the third one and the first one.
I do like how I do.
Yeah, they did that pretty good.
And this is something I got recently. If you can see it,
That's mine.
Yeah, I like how they tied this into part 1 and part 3.
Yeah.
Brian.
Yeah, I got mine somewhere
There
over
you
here. I was looking, where's Lilo? Stitch. I have both.
I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
how they tied part 1 and part 3 in.
Yeah, this is done really good. All right, we're gonna let
Go ahead, Brandon.
Brandman.
Go ahead,
Brandman.
Brandon.
Brandon, you good?
Yeah. Yeah, just been doing a lot of yard work today and helping my folks out with some stuff. So I've just been but anyway, here I am.
What'd you think? What'd you think about
I
the
I loved it. I like how it brought the series as a whole full circle.
That's another thing I liked.
Yeah, to where like if they do indeed stop here, it's they ended it on a very good note. I think in terms of the action sequences, we know these as being like Tom Cruise doing like one big stunt for the movie that's prominent in the ads, and it seemed like in this one he did a couple more than that, which was cool.
Yeah.
But those were all cool. The submarine one in particular had me was kind of messing around with anxiety a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I liked how, like I said, it brought everything full circle. It even went back and referenced the previous handful of movies, which was cool. And I thought acting wise, pretty much everyone was on point. And yeah, it delivered. As far as I'm concerned, it delivered what I was hoping for.
Yeah.
How would you rate it?
Oh, I'd easily say go see it now.
Yeah.
Well, I meant like, what would your star rating be?
Like you're
Probably it would be like a 3.5.
What?
Yeah, I'd give it a 3.5.
I gave it 4.5 on my letterbox.
Are we going on a scale of 1 to 4, 1 to 5?
at 5. That's usually that.
Okay, then in that case 4.5. I'm thinking like Siskel and Ebert reviews,
Oh yeah.
Oh,
1 to 10, I give it a 9.
Like everything.
Oh, I know you would, you Tom Cruise stan.
Yeah. It's a perfect movie.
No, I know. This
is the perfect movie.
Ooh, yeah, about that.
Yeah, that's funny. All right, Brian, what you think?
Okay, so the movie overall was a good movie. What's up, Fernando? It was
Fernando.
I enjoyed the ride. It was action. There was a lot of stuff going on. Try to tie a lot in, but I feel like the first half of that, or the first hour and a half, was very. They're trying to tie in too many strings. I think a lot of movies have problems when trying to do too much, and sometimes gets the storyline convoluted. So it's a perfect example is going to be Gabriel, right? So like you're trying to tie in things that we've never seen, even though we've already seen 10 movies. That means you're trying to do too much sometimes, So like though there's a lot of good parts to it, I think that they just try to throw everything into it. Too much, like throwing even the scenes from 1, the scenes from 3. They're bringing back other actors. Like it was a swan song for a movie that's not guaranteeing that's a swan song. So like that's, I think, going to hurt it more than it helps it. But I agree with you guys about Haley Atwell's character. What's her name? Grace. Grace is always just shoehorn in there, but she's fine, so I'm okay with it. I'll let it go.
Yeah.
If you don't know how fine she is, check some pictures. But yeah, I'll let it go. Overall, I think Tom Cruise did a lot of things, but that weren't believable. I think the believability was lower in this movie than a lot of his other movies. A lot of other things seemed impossible, but I believed it could happen. my physics will tell me some of that stuff can't actually happen. You go under 500 meters, your lungs are a balloon, right? And even if you exhale, you can't exhale for 500 meters. If that was the case, it would have fine in the deep blue sea. Like, there's no other way that actually works. So
they say it in the movie. Don't hold your breath.
You can't do that.
Like
They do.
Right. But Brian, you go to movies. But Brian, you go to movies for sometimes the impossibility. For the absurdism. You go to a movie for the absurdism.
Yeah, but you can't tell me in the movie that
you don't go to a movie for realism. You go see MCU because Thor can throw a fucking helmet. Thor can throw a helmet.
You can. But the fact that you tell me in the movie, in their world, in their own world, that if he does it, you're going to die, and then he does it, and he doesn't die, like, that's a problem.
Yeah. Like, they made the rule. They made the rule and then broke it like right away.
The rule. So, but I thought Tremel Tillman, every time I saw her, I was like, Milchick.
They did, but it's like, oh my God, what is he? And you know he's gonna survive.
Oh man, I love seeing Tremel there. My problem with Ving Rhames was,
hey mama,
if Ving Rhames was around in this movie,
hey mama,
none of the problems in the movie with the AI would have been a problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You had to get rid of him, because if he's alive, he doesn't need any of the other stuff. He doesn't need you to run around. He can fix the problem from where he is.
Yep.
If he's alive, all this goes out the window. You don't need a whole team. You just need Ving Rhames and you need Tom Cruise. That's it.
Hey, Mama Bear.
Everyone goes out. He creates a program that immediately snatches it. Well, you don't need Haley Atwell to snatch it in a millionth of a second. You don't need it. Immediately, as soon as it comes in, he makes a program that snatches it up. You don't have to worry about it. I don't need the physical action of it. So you had to get rid of him because he's a cheat code. This is what he is. Yeah. He's the most brilliant computer scientist, period. He's the one who could do all this stuff. So, I feel like, it's a movie, so the power of a movie, we need to get rid of this character. By the power of movie, he lives through all these things. By the power of movie, all of a sudden, hey, it doesn't matter. The detonators are going to go out, but we're all going to live. By the power of movies, this is a bunker that works.
Got a movie.
At the end of the day, it's by the power of movie, these things are working.
A movie's got to movie.
Yeah. So and at the end of the day, no matter what, I had a good time. I watched the movie and I think you probably could have trimmed 30 minutes out of the movie and still got the same effect from it. Because there's some things where like the dogfighting, as long as it was good, but it was long. There was no reason for it to be in the plane as long as it were. Like, it was convoluted for them to say he's running and he's trying to catch the one plane and he misses it, so I catch the other plane and I throw him out, and then I go to fly to the next plane and he's trying to knock me out. I jump on his plane and I climb up and I throw him out. Like, there's a lot of stuff that you could have kind of trimmed down and still had that same unbelievable effect, because he just did a great job.
Wait, hold up, right? Now they definitely could have cut out. Right, they definitely could have come out some of that when he was in the submarine. They definitely could have cut out about 10 minutes of that. Definitely.
I agree.
They definitely could have cut out 10 minutes of him being in that submarine. But you mean when he was on that helicopter, when he was on that helipad, and they woke him up and he jumped into that water? Man, that was cold. Are you serious?
It was amazing.
That was awesome. Yeah, that was awesome.
I'm talking about when they're dogfighting and they're playing. He missed the one plane, but he's able to catch up and run and catch up to the other plane and then kick the guy out and then fly to another plane. It was a long.
The first plane he hijacked.
No, you're right. You're right. When he was on that Cessna. No, you're right.
Why are we doing all this? There's no need to do it. But that doesn't ruin the movie at all. I think the movie is great, but I think you could have made this movie a 2.5 hour movie, 2 hour and 20 minute movie, and it would have been just as fine. And you maybe could have answered questions Like, why does Gabriel hate him, or what was the whole point of him not liking Gabriel? He could have asked those questions. So
because they didn't clear up that scene when they showed Gabriel shoot that woman.
they could have explained it though.
That's when they gave Ethan Hunt the choice. They did not clear that up.
Mm-hmm. And they could have, and that would have been more of a plot hole to fill than having 20 minutes of them doing the same scene over and over again. Now I was like, okay, come on.
Yeah.
But I had the same issue. I don't want to say like I don't like it. I don't want to leave with saying I don't like it. I did like it a lot.
Because I wonder, with the airplane thing, was it like, hey, I filmed all this? It's all gonna be in the movie. I don't care.
That's what it was, Tank. That's what it was. That's what it was. I filmed all this, so we're gonna put as much as we can into the film.
Because that was very much at the forefront of a lot of the ads. So that was like the big, because each of these movies, they're known for like Tom Cruise doing like some type of insane stunt, at least one of them. But even though in this case we had like 3 of them, but like I feel like all of that is going to be in the movie, each one.
We're gonna
What I want when they put out the 4K of the new movie, I want there to be a full documentary for all his movies on all the stunts.
That'd probably be on a box set. I can see that being on a box set kind of extra disc. Yeah.
But
I can see them doing that for this movie though, because they did that for the last movie with the big jump. I can see them doing like
they did that for part 4 when he was in the Burj Khalifa.
So I can see them doing like him jumping in the water, him with the airplane kind of thing. I can see them doing a cool documentary in the 4K.
Yeah, because the Burj Khalifa scene, that's an hour documentary by itself.
Oh yeah. I forget you told us about that.
But one thing I was gonna say, when I heard when they were doing the submarine part, what they did is they brought in a submarine to like the stage area, and they filled it with ice cold water, and they had submarine like not submarines, like those kind of missile things in there.
Torpedoes.
Yeah, and then they would tip the sub upside down at different points. And actually, the reason why the movie was delayed is, for the other reason is, and because it cost so much, is because one of the submarines, when they were filming that, broke down.
Jeez.
You broke a submarine. That's when you know you're spending too much money.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. And I'm gonna tell you, that's one reason why I watch the credits. So if you look at the credits, and I watched the credits, they actually said we want to give thanks to the George W. Bush submarine and then to other submarines. So like they want to actually film real submarines. Like those must not be sets.
Yeah. Oh, they were definitely like on those at least on that the I forgot, the battleship or whatever it was called.
The submarine.
Yeah. Well, no, the one before he goes down under the water.
Right.
Like that was definitely on set, which was awesome.
Question.
Yeah.
Was that submarine girl? Was that the same girl from Ant-Man 3?
Yeah, that was Katie O'Brien.
Yep.
That was her.
Yeah.
And she was in that other movie when she was the buff chick, and then with whoever.
Love Lies Bleeding.
Yeah, that was. I thought that was her.
Yeah, Katie O'Brien, who should have been Abby. I'm just saying, like I've been saying that for years.
She is the bad.
Yeah, Love Lies Bleeding.
Abby. She is Abby. Just give her.
She should have been Abby.
The problem with her being Abby is that you're gonna look at anything that Ellie does, you can be like, nah, it ain't gonna work. Because she's gonna punch you in the face and it'll be over.
Which
that's how it was in the
which is how it should be.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, that was Katie O'Brien.
Yeah.
Everyone-
When we say Aliens remake, she gonna be best friends.
Say
Who?
what?
What do you say?
What's that?
I
Said
think
in
his
the
thing.
Alien remake, she's going to be
If they do an Aliens remake, she gonna be best
Oh.
friends.
Vasquez.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
Mhm.
I can see that. Yeah.
Vasquez, yeah. I could oh yeah, easily.
Hannah Wayningham made me upset. I didn't join the Navy.
My brain is still trying to process her talking with an American accent.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Tank. When you're done, I have something to tell you guys that Tom Cruise asked somebody to be in the next, like, to take over for Tom Cruise for Mission Impossible.
We'll talk about that in a
Okay,
second. The truth
Yeah,
is, we don't know that there's not going to be another Mission Impossible with him in it. He did not.
Okay, this
shut
is
it
my
down.
thing about another
Shut it
Mission
down.
Impossible.
Well, let's let Tank
They-
do his thing first.
I mean, you guys already said it all. You know what I mean? Like the submarine scene was awesome. Like all the action was awesome. So I mean, just repeating everything you guys said. You know, but I would say the submarine scene. I never felt anxiety before until I watched that damn scene.
Mhm.
I'm like,
Right.
and it might have been because it was going on a little too long, where you're just like, oh, what is this feeling in my stomach? And Erica's like, that's anxiety. I was like, I don't like it.
Yeah, that's what I felt too.
Because the whole time I'm like, why am I like my chest is like tight? Like, what is going on? Like, this is like really like intense, you know. And with the music did it for me. The really ominous like music that's boom. It was like, oh my god, like yeah, I was like, I've never felt that in a movie, you know. And that alone, like having that feeling of like, because I've seen scary movies, I've seen them like, you know, being stuck in places and you know, stuck in here, but that for some reason, I don't know what it was, it got me. So you know, but everything else you guys said with everything else, I pretty much agree with. So yeah, if I'll just repeat it. But
That's what I'm
All
saying.
right,
This
well,
might be
what
the
I
best
was
one.
gonna say is Tom Cruise did ask what's his name? Oh my god, I can't think of his name now. I just had it a few minutes ago. The guy who
You
was
gonna
in
replace
Top
him?
Gun Maverick, and he was in that movie with Sweeney Todd. Not
yeah,
Sweeney Todd,
Powell?
Sydney Sweeney.
Glenn Powell, yeah, Glenn
Glenn
Powell.
Powell. He asked Glenn Powell to take over for him, and Glenn Powell's like, "Hell no, my mother won't allow me to do that. She'll wring my neck. I'm not doing my own stunts."
Glenn Powell has a good chance in the X-Men, so he can just go ahead and wait.
Yeah.
Either of which I'd be good with.
And I personally, if they ever tried to do another Mission Impossible movie without Tom Cruise, I probably wouldn't watch it.
No, I would. Nobody would watch it.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
He's synonymous with the franchise. So.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So what do you guys think? Because I know Brian brought it up. Like, is this the last one, or is there going to be another one? Because they really,
this is definitely not the last one.
you think there's
No,
gonna be another
it's
one with Tom
no.
Cruise?
No, this is not the last one. No,
Mhm.
you will have another one by. You will have another Mission Impossible by 2028, 2029.
Mhm.
Okay, like 4 years.
Yeah. I'd say at the latest.
It,
You know, it's they always say it's the last movie, and then it makes X amount of money to justify a sequel.
Tom Cruise won't even be 70 by then.
Mhm.
But
That's still so old.
That's really old. You should not
There's
be.
there's no way he does. Yeah, there's no way he does his own stunt at
He will
that age.
do another one. He will do another one before 2030.
All right, so here's the report, guys.
Okay.
Christopher McQuarrie, director of the two-part Dead Reckoning film, has hinted that the franchise will continue beyond those two movies. And Tom Cruise has also expressed interest in continuing the series. While Final Reckoning is currently billed as the end of the franchise for Cruise's Ethan Hunt, there are rumblings that a 9th movie is possible with a new lead, and that's recently. He could still be in the movie, but he might not be the lead of the movie.
The black guy. Who's the black guy? Who's the black guy that they had?
Why would they? Why would they bring him in if not to put him, set him up?
They literally just brought him right in at the last second. Who do you play?
Greg Davis.
Yeah, Greg.
His full name is
Greg Tarzan. His Davis was
his parents named him Tarzan. That's just incredibly cruel. I think the only other thing that he was in coincidentally was with Tom Cruise. He was in Top Gun Maverick.
Was
the black guy?
Yeah.
The black guy.
Yep.
Yeah, he was in it.
I don't know. I just can't picture myself not having Tom Cruise as the lead.
I mean, Tom Cruise is old, guys.
I know.
He's only 62.
Yeah, so in 5 years he'll be 67, not in any shape. He might be president, but no, he can't be president because no one knows anything he did.
But I just think they should leave it alone. Leave it alone. Don't touch it. Let it stand the test of time.
Okay.
He's saying that guy sucked.
Tom Cruise will make one more Mission Impossible by 2030, and he might pass the reins over to the black guy. They have a whole new team.
Kind of, yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think he's gonna do another one. He didn't even do the thing at the end where he puts the stuff around the table and he says, "If you want to accept a mission or something."
Say he wanted to make 10.
Yeah, but what they did is they gave him that little key, in control of the AI. So the next one be around that control of the AI. As Haley Atwell said, or Grace said, you're the only person that we'll trust with the AI. So they gave it to him so that could be what kind of is the synopsis for another movie. But he doesn't have to be the main person. He could work his own team, and he says, "Now you're working for me. I need you to be me. Be my eyes."
Ballerina.
Still, I wouldn't like it because it wouldn't be him doing his own stunts. The stunts wouldn't be that good. They'd probably have a stunt double.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Tom Cruise does have a stunt double, guys. He does.
I know he does.
All the scenes by himself.
I know
he just does the big
for
ones,
some
right?
of his scenes, but not very many.
He only does some of them now. He doesn't do as many as he used to.
Yeah.
Like when he did that scene off the top of the highest building in the world, that's when he broke his leg.
No, that was not. That was part 6. That was part 6. He did not. He did not break his leg. He did not break his ankle when he was on the burst sleeper, bro. That was part 6.
Oh, then maybe he broke something else then. But I remember he broke something during that movie.
6. That was part 6.
Which one part?
He did not break anything.
When he jumped from the one rooftop to another, right?
And that was part 6. That was part 6.
That wasn't Fallout?
That was Fallout,
part
yeah.
6.
Fallout, right?
Yeah, it was Fallout. Yeah.
Because Fallout that's my number one. It's my number one movie all time.
Yeah, same here.
Fallout is awesome.
Yeah, that's the my one. This is a close number 2 though.
This is really good, but I think Fallout number 1. I have Fallout 1, Rogue Nation 2, and then this one 3.
Yeah.
Can I say something to y'all?
What's that?
Okay. Can I say something to y'all? I'm gonna tell you this. It's only been 2 movies that I have personally gone to the theater twice to see and spend money. One was Speed Racer. I went to IMAX when IMAX was Navy Pier twice. Spent money twice to see Speed Racer. The second one was Mission Impossible 4, and now this one is going to be Mission Impossible 8. That's all I want to say. That's all I want to say.
Nice.
Those are it. Yeah. This one was a good one. And that for me is also like from right from the beginning to the end. This movie just did not stop. I mean,
This is the best one.
It really hit the ground running.
Yeah,
I never got bored during the movie.
Oh no,
you can't. You don't have the time to get bored.
Yeah, you don't have enough time. You're constantly thinking like,
yeah, they don't give you any breathing room.
Yeah. And for a movie like this, I think that's the best way to do something like this. Just like super quick pace.
Best one. This is without a doubt, hands down, the best one.
The best one.
I don't even want to watch the other ones.
That's it.
I don't even want to watch the other ones. I'm like, yo, why is this one so good and y'all made these so bad compared to this one?
Yeah, you just throw them all away now. Like, that's
right.
It.
No, I wouldn't throw them away. They're part of the trilogy.
Oh yeah. Or the.
This is a
I don't know
great
what this
movie. This is a great movie from start
Octology?
to finish. I did not feel 3 hours at all.
Neither did I.
Oh, I knew. I knew it.
Yeah. By the when he was doing the plane stuff, I was getting a little fidgety in my chair.
It was too much. It's too long.
Think about somebody's mentality.
There you go.
I gotta pause this for. I'm gonna turn the screen off for a minute.
Go ahead, Collector.
Because I'm gonna go get something to drink.
Okay.
But think about. Think about a man's mentality when he's doing this or doing that, and they're like, "Yo, they just showed us our missiles. They just showed us the missiles, and we're not gonna get another warning." And he just decided, you know what? I'm just gonna jump off this helicopter. This helicopter. Think about how motivated you have to be. You know what I'm saying? To complete your mission, and then say, "I didn't even think beyond that." How big do your balls have to be to be like, I'm just going to do it and jump out and make it happen some way, somehow? And that is what Ethan Hunt does. And that's why Ethan Hunt is better than James Bond.
No, man.
Without a doubt.
I'll take Luther over both of them.
How
about that?
I hate that they gave Luther some mysterious sickness that nobody knew anything about.
But once again, that's the problem with this movie. The problem with this movie is that his regular team and regular health could have won it by themselves. You didn't need all this other stuff because they had the perfect team. So, if Luther was around, the entity never got to where it needed to be. Between Benji and Luther and Ethan, you had enough.
Yeah, just sit them at a computer, like
put him at a computer and give him some free Wi-Fi, and he's good to go. Like he's going to handle the problem. He can build it himself. So that right. was the entire issue. Had to get rid of Luther and himself, and that's why I was like, okay, that's just how this movie is going to be. And this movie had plot holes, but still had plot holes in itself.
But I also see what I had to get rid of Luther, because remember, Luther gave him the poison pill, and it was and then Luther told Ethan this message will self-destruct in 5 seconds. So somebody like Luther was the one that makes all of this message will self-destruct in 5 seconds. So I understand why they had to get rid of Luther, because Luther was the only one that could make those type of all those.
The coolest thing that Luther made was something we saw in Star Trek. Basically, he made an actual Star Trek relic. He made a 5D replication, for the entity.
Oh, the prison.
Yeah, the prison. Yeah. It's a 5D. So the entity still thinks it's out in the real world. That is something we saw in Star Trek. That's
it was super sci-fi. It was very sci-fi.
He made it, but it makes sense. So you have to create a world that you don't even know that's fake.
for the Matrix. He made the Matrix just for the entity.
In the palm of your hand. In the palm of your hand, which is crazy.
Yeah. You know what? I didn't even think about that being the reason of why they killed off Luther. Because I had the same mission. I'm like, why you kill him off? Like, and even in my head, I'm like, he's the only dude that can stop. And then I'm like, I didn't put it together until you said it. It was like they had to because he is like one of the only people that could stop it. Plus, then you get Ethan and Benji, and you said like, yeah, let's hook him up to a computer, and there you go.
Yeah, he's gonna figure it all out. He's just like, well, I'm gonna trap the entity as it's going through the way. I'm gonna trap it somewhere. I'm gonna suck it in and get it and be able to suck it in without having any problems. So like Larry, he's created his own family zone.
But or his Kryptonian pocket world family zone. Yeah. But
I was absolutely in love with this film, and I definitely think this is the best MIA. This is the best Mission Impossible compared to all of them, and that's a very strong statement because none of these movies are bad, except for maybe part 2. So this is awesome, and I will definitely watch this one over and over and over and over again. And I know the rating for me, it's not even a now, it's a yesterday. It's
go
a
back in the
yesterday.
past and go see it again.
It's a yesterday, yo. Yesterday. And one thing that's decent about it is that you don't even have to watch part 7. You don't even have to watch part 7. Now they have a lot of techno babble in it, but you don't even have to watch part 7 to understand what's going on with this. So this is definitely a yesterday.
Yeah.
What happened?
I think Brandman.
Yeah, he's asleep.
All right, don't want him be down here.
And I love how they part 1. I love how they did part 1 and part 3. Because if you think about it, them the only ones that they brought in onto this one, part 1 and part 3. They didn't bring in 4, they didn't bring in 5, they didn't bring in 6. They brought in part 1 and part 3. But I like how they did, and I especially really enjoyed how they did the relationship between him and the guy who he stole the Nautilus from. Because I was even thinking like, oh my God, Ethan messed this man's life up. And then he comes in and says, no, you didn't mess my life up. Because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have met my wife. I wouldn't have been this. I wouldn't have been that. So, and I'm thinking like those are the parts of Ethan's adventure that you don't see. Kind of like how that Rick and Morty episode was. You remember that Rick and Morty episode when Morty said, these are the part of Rick adventures that you don't see. The messed up parts. So that was part of Ethan's adventures that you don't see. But the man was not mad about it. The man said, this is awesome. I met my wife because of you. And I thought that was awesome, man. I did. To me, this is a perfect movie. This is the best movie. This is the best mission that Ethan has ever been on. Granted, some of it was unrealistic, but you go to the movies for that on top of it. So 9, 10 out of 10, see it yesterday.
Yeah.
Are we gonna do Andor soon?
I don't know, probably not. I think we might just make this like a Mission Impossible night.
Okay.
Man out now.
Yeah.
Go ahead, do Andor. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it.
We could talk Mission Impossible for a little bit more. Because like one thing I had it was fun, but it was also when I thought about it as it was going, I was like, it seemed silly. Was the big fight scene in the cabin, in the middle of nowhere, Arctic or whatever, was like all those bullets, no one got shot, right?
Yeah, that's true.
It was like it reminded me of like G.I. Joe.
The stormtroopers were the ones.
Even the good guys. Like
they're all stormtroopers, and they're all not good shots. That's what it was.
But that was very much this movie was, and they did it in the opening early sequence too. Was the action or the violence? I would say the violence was not shown, or they just like you never saw anybody get shot. You know, they shot a gun and then in the distance somebody would fall, but like you never saw it. Like you never saw when what's his name got shot. Like
when Ethan Hunt went and got that club, that mallet, and he destroyed those
Yeah,
two guys.
that was hilarious. That was so yeah.
It was so funny.
I thought that was so funny, you know. But if like it didn't match, I think with what Mission Impossible was doing before. But I guess you have to like cut that budget because I just saw the budget for this was $400 million.
400
How much
million.
was the budget?
Crazy. 400 million. That was the budget.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think they said it's not including the marketing.
And that's because
So-
they broke
They broke
the
submarine.
Mhm.
Yeah,
They broke a submarine, so they had to get a new one.
yeah. And then I mean, you got to figure all the other the flying scenes, like how much
So-
that costs.
One thing that I didn't like is
Good gosh.
when
I hated that scene.
no.
Yeah.
One thing I didn't like to understand is when they said when they were sitting around the table talking about his past exploits, and they said, "Oh well, he set a bomb. He set a bomb off in the Kremlin," and then he said, "Well, to be fair, the bomb was to kill him." No, it wasn't.
Well, actually, yeah.
when they set that bomb off
was.
in the Kremlin, that bomb was not meant to kill Ethan. That bomb was meant to cover Cobalt's track for stealing. Remember, it was that bomb was set to cover Cobalt's tracks for stealing that nuclear thing.
Mhm.
Oh,
So I was upset about that. I was, and I'm a fan, so I'm nitpicking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have a few other things. I want to know what you guys think. So, Gabriel, in itself,
Gabriel, I did not really care for.
did you feel like he seemed like any of the other villains we've had in the other movies?
No.
No, Gabriel.
The same, the same type of story. I've known him in the past.
Yeah.
He's- I tried to trick him, and I'm the new villain of the week. Like there's no difference than any other previous villain. And and they didn't give him a backstory, so they tried to fit the backstory in with a one liner thing, like one little thing real quick. I'm trying. So really, they didn't have to do it. And I always say
did.
this:
He
when you
did,
have
he did get their card.
Mhm.
so when you have a movie that doesn't really have a great villain,
Mhm.
sometimes it takes a hit. The movie itself takes a hit.
Mhm.
And I feel like they didn't do enough to create a great villain. And when you have an ending of a franchise, when you have a real ending of a franchise, you need a real great villain. And it should be an overarching villain that they should have seen since the beginning. And
Yeah,
that's
that
what
you
should
could tie into almost
Mhm.
everything, because the villain is the entity, right? Which that's obvious, right? But the problem is like all the entity is doing is creating situations. So it's like the villain of the movie was just like, let's get out of this situation. It wasn't like let's beat this person. It was just like it was just like preventing things, or like I don't know, like. But I agree with that. It was like there was no bad guy, especially Gabriel from the last movie. I thought was awesome because he was working with the entity, like he was the physical embodiment of the entity. I'm like, I like that. But then they get that away. They nerfed him like right away. They're like, oh no, you're no longer in contact with the entity. I was like, then who gives a shit? Like why? Like,
What they should have done is had Eugene Kittredge
right, and you didn't see.
No, he should
the last hour.
Eugene Kittredge should have gotten control of the entity, and he should have been the bad guy. And then that whole last hour was trying to figure out a way to get back to him. So within the cabinet, you have a guy who's doing all these things, and he should have been the real bad guy, the real villain, because he's been there since the beginning. The overarching person should have been there from the beginning. That should have been the way it was written, and it wasn't. So that's why, like, I'm going to say that this movie is not perfect. It's good, and they had good parts, but you would have had a much better villain if you had someone who's there from the beginning, because you're trying to connect all these movies from the beginning, right? So if you're going to do that, have someone that was actually
the only other person that. Yeah, I agree.
I agree with that too.
I agree. Yeah, like he has his power now. He's like, well, now I rule the world.
Yep. Now it has to follow me, and they kind of played with that, right? Because he was trying to get control of the entity, but they should have had him get control of the entity from the beginning. If you're gonna nerf Gabriel, then have him kill Gabriel while he's running through the hallway. Have him kill him. Him take the rest of that thing, the little thing that Luther had. To him do it, and then him be the one who now has control, and let that be the problem.
Right.
And now you have this great villain who's been there from the beginning. His antithesis from the beginning is him. And that would have been a really good story. And that would have been a good ending, too.
I mean, maybe they are saving it for the next one where it might be the finale, So we'll
but one thing I was gonna say, when that lady who plays the president,
Angela Bassett.
Angela Bassett.
That's who it is?
Yeah.
That's Angela Bassett, yes.
Oh
Bassett.
my God, I did not know that.
How did you know that was Angela Bassett?
Yes.
Well,
How did you know that was the Queen of Wakanda?
Exactly.
I've never seen Wakanda. I've only seen Black Panther. I haven't seen Wakanda Forever.
Okay, good. Keep it that way.
You will. It's good.
Yeah.
So, but back to what I was saying. That whole scene when they were in there and they were doing she had to make the decision to like try to do the thing offline, the nukes, and then that person kept on staring at her. I'm like, oh my God, that guy's gonna try to kill her.
That's what I thought. That's what
right.
I thought too.
And he asked for a sidearm, right?
And then he goes,
and decided, and he still honors her, and and they foreshadowed that by her assistant saying, "No," at the end, or not her assistant. I don't know who Janet McTeer did, who she was, and
the other chick.
Yeah, but she said, "No." At the end of the day, they're going to follow you. They're going to honor your wishes, and they're going to follow you. And at the end of the day, Nick Offerman, who was playing Sydney, did do that.
Yeah,
because she's such a great leader. I love that part, seeing a Black woman being such a great leader.
Yeah, same here.
Still going to follow her no matter what. She's the president. I'm going to follow her to the dead end of the world. And that's
I like that too. Her playing a big moment like that.
And see, here's also, I couldn't figure out if Kitchen was a good guy or a bad guy.
Yeah.
Which
I couldn't figure out about Kitchen.
Yeah. Which would have made him being the villain good. Like it would have been better, But
I did.
Yeah, because he wasn't he like the head of the CIA. Wouldn't it be good the head of the CIA to be the bad guy at the end of the movie?
Yeah.
Why did Ethan always to not listen to any of the direct orders? What was the point?
He didn't.
That what should have been what he did. It should have always been him being the villain. He should have been the main villain, and if he was, this would probably went a lot better.
Yeah, he was always like a bad guy. Just like he would use Ethan for things, but he would I always viewed him as the bad guy, but he was working for America, so he was like, everything he did was for America kind of thing. But yeah, they should have made him the bad guy.
They definitely should.
Yeah. You good?
It would have brought things a lot more full circle. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. Because I'm telling you, that was definitely, even in part 7, is he good? Is he bad? Is Ethan right? I don't know what's going on with his arc. I don't know what's going on with his arc.
But they played it too, like, hey, we're going to catch him at the end, and all you had to do was then catch him. You could have cut all that stuff out, call him at the end. He kills Gabriel, and he's the bad guy.
Yeah, if you cut his scenes in this movie, it wouldn't have made a bit of difference.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It seemed like he was there just to bring Ethan in front of the president. Like that was the only reason why he was in the movie. Like, no, you wasted that character. I feel like,
Yeah.
So
even with Dead Reckoning, but more so with this, it just kind of seemed like they were like they wanted to tie all loose ends and just kind of reference the bring everything full circle in terms of the very beginning of the franchise. Because let's face it, before, I think up until Rogue Nation, I'd say these movies were pretty. They were all pretty standalone. They could all stand on their own. They didn't really get too episodic until the fifth movie.
No,
He's
they
right. He's
didn't.
right. He's right. He's right.
You know, so I think, yeah, Christopher McQuarrie, just in an attempt to reference all of them and just bring it completely full circle. I think that was the why behind a lot of stuff like this.
Yeah,
I'm glad we got to see a little
I did too.
quick
I did too.
shot.
So how second have you seen me with the
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad we got to see a little quick shot of Alec Baldwin. 'Cause,
Did
like,
we? I don't remember.
yeah, during the back part, like during when they were doing the backstory part,
Mhm.
Hmm.
And they
they
show like the
showed, like, a
montage
quick
of
little
clips.
flash of him,
Okay.
and I'm like, yeah, Alec Baldwin.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Look for that the next time I watch it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, going back to some of the flashbacks, I wasn't a big fan of Briggs's backstory. I was like,
Mhm.
what? They're gonna make what's his name his dad, but then also like that's not his motivation. So I was like, so why are we doing? Why are we
Yeah,
tying
that
it
Yeah,
didn't
what's the
make
point?
needlessly? Like,
What'd you
You know,
feel like it was Naked Gun, huh? And they're all looking at the pictures and said, "Hey, Dad."
right?
Mhm.
Yeah, That part I
This
was
one for
like,
you, Dad.
okay, y'all just reaching.
yeah,
I have a question for you guys.
they are gonna go to space.
What trailers did you guys have at your movie
I had Superman, Fantastic Four, Jurassic World.
Trust me.
I had Naked Gun, Ballerina,
Mhm.
and I'm trying to remember what the other one was. But those were the
Main ones.
I mean,
yeah, those were the
I'm-
main ones that immediately come to mind.
Yeah, Fantastic
are
Four.
those the same for you guys?
It was pretty much the same thing as that.
I had those except Ballerina. We didn't have Ballerina. What we had was that one movie with
Brad Pitt.
uh
I had F1 instead of
Mikey no, the movie with why can't I think of his name, from House of the Dragons?
Oh, the one we saw the other day.
Matt Smith.
Yes.
Matt Smith. Yeah.
Matt Smith.
That's the one I'm thinking of. That's what they showed. Caught
Yeah.
stealing. Caught stealing,
yeah.
and then Life of Chuck was the other one.
Oh, okay.
I had
Oh, I didn't
F1.
see that one.
So,
Oh, I had
Brad
the
Pitt.
trailer. I had the trailer. Rebel Wilson was some Rebel Wilson spy movie.
Really?
I know she's in another movie.
No,
Well,
yeah,
What
Yeah.
was your guys' reactions to the your audience
Rebel
for
Wilson
Superman?
is some wedding, and it's some wedding with Rebel Wilson, and now she's some super duper spy.
Mhm.
That was one of my trailers.
What was your guys' audience?
Brad Hart.
Brideheart.
We call Brad Hart. That's what it is. Brad
Oh
Hart.
yeah. Yep. Let's start right now. I'll pass.
What was your guys' audience reaction to the Superman trailer?
There weren't a whole lot of people in my theater, unfortunately. So
And then the new one with Wes Anderson.
I didn't really get a response.
My movie theater was completely full. My mom and her friend went to the same movie I was, but they had to sit right up front because there was nowhere for them to sit.
Mhm.
No.
Like that.
Everyone that saw it, I heard Burma saying, "Yeah, looks pretty good. This looks pretty good." And then this one little girl said, "Daddy, what happened to that monster?"
No way.
100%.
That's great.
Not to the point where like I'm saying that she thought the same thing I thought. That
Yeah, but just like points out the monster was funny.
The monster, yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So I've been in a habit of the movie starts at 6. I got until about 6:30, so
Mhm.
I didn't see any trailers. I walked in, literally the movie is starting. So unless I'm gonna get some food, I'm always about like 25-30 minutes late because
Mhm.
I
I'm
always
not rushing.
get to my movie theater a half an hour early.
Oh geez.
No. We watch too many trailers for me to.
I used to get there like a half hour, 25 minutes early, but now it's usually like right when the time begins, or maybe a couple minutes later.
But
Yeah.
one of the things I was gonna say, when they showed the Naked Gun trailer at my
Yeah,
movie
that's
theater,
right, too.
Hmm.
I literally heard everyone in the movie theater cracking up laughing when they were when they showed what's his name, that
OJ.
guy
Liam
who killed,
Neeson,
Oh,
no,
O.J. Simpson.
the guy
O.J.
who killed,
Simpson,
Yeah.
the guy who killed people.
OJ.
O.J.
Yeah.
Simpson.
When they showed his frame, some lady who was sitting next to me, she's like, "Oh boy,"
Mhm.
and then the guy shakes his head in the movie, and then she busts out laughing.
I
Mhm.
can't tell you what happened in my theater. That was kind of funny. Well, I guess I will tell you. Whatever. I don't care. Whatever.
Now I gotta hear this.
so we're going through the whole trailer and people are laughing, joking around, and my wife is like rolling her eyes because she doesn't think that kind of humor is funny. And then they show the father scene and everyone's looking at it, and then they get to the OJ part and he shakes his head and this woman says, "That's all right, baby. It's okay. You can't deal with who your daddy is." And everyone start busting laughing. I'm like, oh man, this is something else. Huh?
That's funny.
And when the other part that people were busting out laughing at is when he said, "I'm the new Drake Rebin" or whatever, and
Frank
he-
Drebin.
Right.
and you see his pink underwear on.
Hmm.
Everyone in the movie
Yeah,
theater
yeah,
literally
that's the person I went with. So, yeah, they started
Mhm.
laughing. Yeah.
That's when my wife rolled her eyes. She was like,
Yeah. 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 If you don't like any of Liam Neeson's stuff, you are definitely not gonna like this one.
Liam
Yeah.
Neeson.
It's mhm.
Well, if you don't like Leslie Nielsen,
Mhm.
That's the whole thing with Seth MacFarlane and Leslie
The guy
Nielsen
who killed people.
about
Yeah.
them being Leslie being funny.
But some
Oh,
of the
what's
people
that?
in my movie theater
Liam
for the
Neeson, a straight
Superman
guy.
trailer,
Mhm.
they were like, "Oh, it looks good," and then the people next to me, I heard them say, "What is this? Another Superman movie?" And
Mm.
they're like, "They're redoing this again?"
It's so funny because I think we forget that normies don't understand it, and that's why with these
Yeah.
numbers.
Mhm.
When I'm talking to Anza, I'm telling him like, "Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna make the number you think it's gonna make."
Yeah,
Normies don't think the same way that we think. That's just
Yeah.
a fact.
yeah. My mom is interested in the movie, but she's
Mhm.
not running to the movie theater to see it. She said she's
Right.
gonna wait for it to come to the library and then rent it.
Mm.
She said, "This is not a movie I'm paying big money for."
Yeah.
So, Brad,
Yeah.
Because she's
will
like, I've
MA
seen.
make $1 billion?
She's like, I've seen Superman played so many times. I don't need to see it again.
Yeah. Yeah. What'd you say? Is this gonna make $1 billion? Did you say, Brandon or B? No, I think some. Oh, are you? Oh, he's on a delay, probably, because I hear
Oh.
the delay.
Oh,
So
Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize. I
There you
said
go.
I got delayed. I've been dealing with it all night, but I'm sorry. I apologize.
No,
No,
no
I
problem.
didn't mean to cut anybody off.
No,
But
you're good.
will MIA make $1 billion?
No, MI8 will make $650 million. $650 million.
Mm.
I'll be happy if it makes $700 million. If it makes that, that's good.
But how can Top Gun make $1 billion and this doesn't?
Top Gun was a better
But-
movie.
Top Gun was a long time wait,
Yeah.
and a lot of like older people grew
Mhm.
up with that.
Member berries.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of older people went to go see it. My mom was one of the people. My 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 uncle, if he would have been around, he
hmm
definitely would have wanted to see it. And then another one of my uncles, if he would have lived here in Michigan at the time, he would have wanted to see it.
hmm
But yeah,
Yeah.
a,
Yeah.
a lot of older people grew up in that area.
I tell you
Exactly.
what,
So we have boomers,
if
baby
this movie
boomers.
doesn't make $1 billion, I would give you Wolverine. I would give you a Wolverine like.
I won't take it.
I know. But I mean, T, I mean, I know you're exaggerating a little bit, but you're not completely wrong with the budget being that high. Like,
hmm
this movie is definitely not going to be worth what
I
what
think
the
it
budget
makes
was.
money. I think it makes
You think
money.
it makes some money?
I
I
think
mean,
this movie
650. It
have to make
makes
650.
what 100,
I think
150
it makes about $60 million.
in profit at the end.
It's about $60 million in profit. At the end.
Falsifier. Yeah. Yeah.
I think
I mean,
the 4-day
650 is pretty
opening
good.
thing. So, guys, the 4-day
Yeah.
opening of this movie is going to be around $80 million. This
Can
entire
you-
weekend is going to be about $80 million domestically.
That's a projection.
So I'm going to say the entire domestic run of this movie is going to be about $230 million, and that's me being on the high end. Okay, and then I think internationally we're going to make about 3 times that. So, or I would say 1.5, 2.5 times that. So that's going to put it internationally about 570, 580. So
Mhm.
if it makes that much internationally, we're saying at the most it makes 750, 775, almost 800. I don't think it makes that much, but I'm saying that's the top it can make, and those are big numbers.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
would make it the highest grossing Mission Impossible movie for
It
sure.
was
Yeah.
the highest one is like $823 million, something like that.
Oh, is it? Oh, that's right. Yeah. Fallout, wasn't it?
Yep, Fallout, which I say
Yeah.
is the best one. So
Yep. Fallout is definitely
Fallout is not the best one. Fallout is not the
Fallout.
best one. Rogue Nation. No.
Rogue
Ghost
Nation is
Protocol.
close to.
Rogue
No,
Nation.
Ghost
Rogue
Protocol.
Nation's.
Part 4. Rogue
I
Nation,
love Ghost Protocol.
Ghost Protocol with the Burj Khalifa. That's the best one, hands down.
Fallout made $820 something million.
Yeah, and Maria, that's
no,
the highest. That's the closest it got.
No, Maria, no Mission Impossible has made $1 billion.
Yeah,
No, none of them have.
Yeah.
Rogue Nation made $710 million, and Ghost Protocol, I think it will surprise you guys because it made $694 million.
Oh wow, are those the top 3?
Yes, those are the top 3.
And those are probably
Rogue Nation,
the 3 best.
I can believe Rogue Nation.
Yeah,
I can believe Ghost Protocol.
Ghost Protocol is the lowest. It's 694. Rogue Nation is about 710, and Fallout is about 820.
Okay, so here's a question for everybody.
hmm
Yeah.
I think he's lagging.
Oh, yeah.
Here's a question for everybody.
hmm
So what's next for Tom? And so if this is the last Mission Impossible, what's next for Tom Cruise?
Well, I know he's doing.
I know he wants to do that movie in space.
Yeah, from the director of The Revenant, I think.
Yeah.
hmm
And then I know he's doing a Top Gun 3.
I thought they put a stop to that.
Really?
I kind of hope so, to be honest.
I hope they do, because they don't need another Top Gun.
Yeah, unfortunately.
They don't need nothing.
Yeah, unfortunately, Hollywood sometimes doesn't know when to leave well enough alone.
I
Yeah.
know.
But
you need $1 billion. There's gonna
yeah.
be a sequel.
Yeah, that's what.
Or a third one.
He said he didn't.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Without Val Kilmer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Mhm.
I wonder
Yeah.
if he does stay true to that.
Yeah, I wonder. The only way I could see that if they throw a Schneck mode,
I could see another Days of Thunder. That would be
Schneck's
dope.
mode of money towards him.
hmm
Yeah,
His
which
movies
they probably
cost a lot of money to make. So the problem is, you know, he won't make the amount of money he wants to make because it costs too much to make the movie.
Yeah.
hmm
What was Top Gun's budget? Top Gun was only 170. That's not too bad.
No, they didn't see that one coming. Who saw that?
Yeah, who saw that becoming a $1.4 billion?
Right.
Yeah, nobody saw that coming.
Yeah, they probably thought it was gonna make like
I think Top Gun
405.
was gonna make that much money.
But the thing is, it's the older people who went and saw it. Probably repeat viewings
hmm
Oh yeah.
because a lot of them grew up with the first one and wanted to see the second one. That's what I think it is.
I think you're right. Yeah. Yeah.
That made 1.493 billion in 2022, and it's still the second highest grossing film of that year.
Wow.
That's stupid. That's so stupid. But yeah, no. Days of Thunder. I heard that one. I can see him doing that. You know, we always joke with them doing another cocktail.
If you want to do a sequel to a movie that's great, Edge of Tomorrow is great.
That's what I've heard. They want to do a sequel to that.
Yeah. Supposedly it's ready to go. It's just they just can't get everyone lined up on the same timeline.
So
Yeah,
Emily
I've
Blunt
heard-
probably said yeah, and then Tom Cruise is like yeah, but then as soon as Tom Cruise
Then
does
the
the
director,
movie, Emily Blunt has to go do something else, and then the director leaves and does something else, and then they cannot all get on the
I'm about
same.
another legend.
Which one?
Legend.
Legend.
I would love another legend.
I've never even seen that movie. That movie looks creepy because there's a guy on the cover who has like devil horns on it.
Yeah.
I'm like,
That is
what?
the best. I don't care what y'all say. That is the best looking devil I've ever seen.
I agree.
1980.
I think I have to agree. Yeah.
Constantine.
I think that was the best acted devil.
I still seeing what the sulfur and understanding what
Yeah,
sulfur
yeah.
is.
I mean,
Yeah.
Understanding what the Bible says about the devil and,
Mhm.
and all that, putting it together. Not with the horns,
Mhm.
but what it really would look like. A fallen
Mhm.
angel, what would that look like? I think that's the best. You know,
yeah. I mean, Legend is
Yeah.
definitely like
He-
that.
Mhm.
What you see in your head when you think of like the devil, you're like, oh, that's it. You know.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's what I thought too. Like, oh, that's what it looks like.
I'm gonna tell you, as a kid, that was literally one of the first movies I ever remember ever watching,
Mhm.
and that's just coincidence.
The first
Get,
movie I ever
well, it was
saw
directed
was
by Ridley Scott.
Bambi.
Oh, jeez.
mother.
Start the trauma early. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That
I
was
didn't
my
know
first
Legend was
movie I
directed by
ever
Ridley
saw.
Scott.
And
If you look, Tom Cruise's teeth was even messed up in that movie. So that's how old that movie
That's
is.
how old
bro.
it is.
Mhm.
Before he got the veneers, huh?
Yes, before he had the veneers.
That's funny.
I watched Risky Business a few months ago. I thought that movie was pretty good. It doesn't
That was
need a
his third
sequel.
movie?
Oh no,
Was he the
definitely
second or
doesn't need a
third movie?
sequel.
Yeah. I
Because
mean, I don't.
I can't picture Tom Cruise having parents and then them going away and then him playing music in his underwear
Mm.
in this day and age.
You can't see that. I'm surprised. I can see that right now. I'm surprised I'm not watching it.
Maria says, I want another Reacher Part 3. Don't
I
even
saw this. I
get
laughed.
started.
That's too funny. Have him have his Reacher meet. I was gonna say the real Reacher.
Mhm.
I-
The, the superior
don't get
Reacher.
us started tonight. Maria, you about to get us started a whole nother hour about
Yeah.
About Reacher.
Tom is the best Reacher.
Maria, you realize you put words in his mouth, right?
Yeah.
Maria,
I've
you
never-
know you just started.
You ever
Tom
seen?
is the best Reacher, G.
No, he is not.
He's literally the worst
No,
Reacher. It doesn't even
No.
No.
It makes no
No.
sense at all.
It makes no sense.
Reacher is
It makes-
6'6",
Mhm.
255 pounds. If Tom Cruise comes out 5'9", 5'7", 110 pounds
Mhm.
wet. Like it's like I'm reaching,
Tom
man.
Tom
Come on.
Cruise is many things, but Jack Reacher is definitely not one of them.
Just watched
Yeah,
all
definitely
3
not.
seasons of Reacher, and I'm like, oh yeah, this guy's okay.
That's it. He's just okay. I like that.
He's okay.
This
He's
guy
okay.
is okay.
I
but
want to give me
he is
Reacher
not
versus Reacher.
Tom.
Mm.
I'm a Tom Cruise. I'm a Tom Cruise stan too, Brandon. But no.
It'll be the
Okay.
shortest
Sorry,
movie
dude.
ever. Reacher versus Reacher, the shortest movie ever. 1.3.
Yeah.
with
1.3.
you make it to Tom Cruise.
I
Oh,
can't.
you
I can't. I can't.
joke.
Mhm.
Thank you, Josh.
That's
Appreciate
funny.
Oh, thank you, Josh.
Yeah, Tim Curry's the devil in Legend. Yep.
Mhm.
He
Oh.
is, and I hate what's happening to Tim Curry.
Yeah.
Tim Curry. I'm trying to
not
think who
die?
that is.
He was it. Oh my God, he was in a bunch of.
Was
he was
he
in
in
Home.
He was in Home Alone
He was in
2.
Home Alone.
He was in Home
2.
Alone
Okay,
2.
I know who it is
Rocky
now.
Horror Picture Show.
Rocky Horror Picture
Rocky-
Show. Yeah, that's
Rocky Horror
probably
Picture
the
Show.
biggest one.
That's all you got to say, and you
Yeah.
should know who Tim Curry is.
Mhm.
He played in that movie I will never watch.
Oh, the
It.
word. It's. Oh yeah, he was the
Yeah.
superior hit. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I will never watch that
Clue.
movie.
Clue.
Clue. The Wild Thornberries. He was the dad. He was the voice of the dad in Wild Thornberries.
Oh yeah, he was the voice of Nigel Thornberry. Yeah, sure was.
Yep.
Forgot about that.
He did the Worst Witch. I don't know if anybody remembers that. He has a musical number in that one, and
Oh wow.
it's something, man.
Mhm.
But yeah, but I think Tim Curry's like doing really bad health wise.
He's doing
Oh
real bad.
really? Wow.
He's wheelchair bound. He's
Yeah.
done.
Oh wow.
Let's see what they say.
I'm-
He had a
I'm-
stroke in 2012, which left him partially paralyzed, and he's in a wheelchair, and I think he's not doing well. So
I'm still waiting. I don't want this to happen, but I'm still waiting for the day when Clint Eastwood kicks over, and I'm like, oh my god, because he's 93 or 94 years old.
Mhm.
hey,
Can I bring?
what you got?
I feel you on that Queenswood, but can I bring it back to Mission Impossible real fast? When the submarine sank, they said it was in 2012. I did not understand that timeline.
Yeah. Did they change it? I felt like they changed it from the last movie to number 7.
They said it was they must have because they said because in this one they said it was 2012. I'm like, damn, how long were they in ice?
Mm-hmm.
I'll be right back.
Okay. For everybody else, for Brandon and Brandman and Tank, how do you rank your Mission Impossibles? Give me the top.
We're talking about
This is no problem for me.
the top 4. Oh, you go ahead, Brandon.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it, please.
8. Okay, I'm sorry, I have a delay. 8, 3, 4, 6. 8, 3, 4, 6. Then they read on even matter 1, 2, 5, and 7. 7 is no, I'm sorry. 2 is the worst.
Okay, I was about to say, I was like,
Easily, yeah.
2 is the worst. Easily 2 is the worst.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as best, 8, 3, 4, 6. 8, 3, 4, 6.
Okay. What about you, B?
I'd say Ghost Protocol is my number 1, followed by Fallout. After that, it would probably be Dead Reckoning. After that, it would be Rogue Nation. After that, it would be Final Reckoning. After that, it would be 3, and then the first one, and then at the very bottom, it would be 2. Was that all of them? Did I list all of them?
I think so.
You didn't say
Pretty sure I
1?
did. Yeah.
Oh, number 1.
Oh no, I said I did say one, right?
Okay.
Yeah, one goes before before the second one, which is kind of hard for me to say. Which is kind of tough for me to say because really, with the exception of two, none of them I found to be bad movies. I think the first one, looking back, didn't really feel like a spy movie so much as it felt like a whodunit kind of.
Hmm.
But like, and then two was just like, not only was it a kind of a bad movie, it was a bad movie from the early 2000s, which is just in a class all its own. Um, it's very much a 2000s movie. But the third one is when they started like really doing it for me. That's when it started becoming like spy espionage movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they just kind of went on an upward trajectory ever since.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
What about you, Tank?
I'll probably go Fallout, Rogue Nation, Final Reckoning, Ghost Protocol, number 3. No, I'll say number 7, Dead Reckoning, then number 3, and then number 1. And very much like what Brandman was saying was like the difference between the first one, and then number 2 being the worst is like in a different category. Like it's because putting number 1 and number 2, like number 8 and 7 is just like they shouldn't be that close because number 2, the Mission Impossible 2 was not good at all. So
the only part I like about 2 is the motorcycle chase scene.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun.
It was a pretty awesome chase scene.
And then the hand-to-hand combat at the end of the movie
Mhm.
is pretty cool. And then him almost getting stabbed in the eye.
Mhm.
Yeah, because when he did that fight scene with that guy
Mhm.
almost stabbed him in the eye.
Yeah, well, yeah, and Tom insisted on doing the stunt himself, like he usually does, and they attached like a cable to the
Right.
to to the knife, so obviously he wouldn't lose his eye.
Yeah. But that was crazy. Like, you see how close it gets to his eye in the movie, and you're
Mhm.
like, man, if that would have gotten in closer.
Mm-hmm.
Walk around with a patch. What about you, Brian? What's your
I have Fallout 1, Rogue Nation 2, Final Reckoning 3, Ghost Protocol 4, 3, 5 is number 5. Mission Impossible 3 is 4. I have the first Mission Impossible 6. I have Dead Reckoning 7, and then 2. Then I have 2 at 8.
Okay. Man, you have Dead Reckoning like number 7?
Yep. Well, I like Mission Impossible 1. I thought without 1 you wouldn't have got there. So I like 1 more than I like
Sure.
that one because there's a lot of plot holes in Dead Reckoning. Still, 1 is good. 3 is really good because 3 is when it started going back on the uptick because 2 was terrible. So 3 started getting back into it. It wouldn't have been all these movies without 3. And then I really love Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation, and Fallout. Right. So like, where do I put it? Like, I think all those 3 are the tippity top. So what else can I put? Dead Reckoning.
Yeah.
And it didn't make a lot of money, and the hoopla from it kind of died. Because everyone found out this is the first part of a part 2, and it was just okay. And we didn't care about the characters as much. So like when you really put it all in and mix it all up, I put it after the first one.
Okay, I can see that. Then I'll give a shout out to Collector Movie Man. Tomorrow, I think you have your video coming out of your Mission Impossible rating.
Yes, I'm going to be doing a review and a ranking of my Mission Impossible movies.
Yeah.
But I was going to do it tonight. Like I said, I was tired earlier, but now that I'm on here, I'm awake.
Yeah.
But
what you think is, I think we're probably start to finish up a little bit because it's getting a little late. Yeah. But any final thoughts? What you guys? Well, yeah. Any final thoughts? And it's we'll do out of 5. Where would you out of 5? What would you give it?
We'll just go around the horn.
Yeah.
Yes.
Around.
Me first?
No, Brandon.
Sorry, he's on a delay.
Oh, okay. Then I'll go first.
Go.
Oh, no, we'll go first.
Perfect movie. Perfect movie. 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5. Go see it yesterday. This is amazing. It's a darker film than all of the other Mission Impossibles, but it's just so suspenseful. It's something that you would not even expect from a normal regular Mission Impossible movie. Go see this yesterday. Don't even watch this video. Go watch the film, then come watch the video.
And
This is a perfect movie. Period.
Okay.
All right. I definitely really enjoyed this movie. It is ranked number 3 on my rankings. And I definitely want this to be the end. I don't want any more. I want it to just end. Like, don't even try to recast, because it won't work.
Okay. And out of 5, well, you gave it 4.5 out of 5, I think you said.
Oh, I gave it 4.5 out of 5 on my letterbox.
Okay.
And I think you guys are following me on my letterbox account. So if you guys want to go check out my review, you can on there.
Cool.
Okay. I'll put a description in there for you.
Absolutely.
What about you, Brandon or Brandman? Because we got 2 Brandon.
Solid 4.5. Really good movie, really good wrap up. If they do actually stop here, like I said, if they would, I'd be absolutely content with it. I think like a little bit of it dragged, and you could have snipped like 30 minutes out of this movie and it would have flowed a lot better. But other than that, I really enjoyed it. I like how it kind of brought everything full circle, and yeah, Tom Cruise always outdoes himself with the action sequences. Like the dude doesn't miss. It's insane. Guy's one of the last remaining movie stars. Let's be real about it.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, I was happy with it, and like I said, I'd be absolutely content if they just pump the brakes here. But yeah, it delivered what I was hoping for.
Okay. What are you, Brian?
Really good movie. I enjoyed it for what it was. It was a break in reality. It's among the Mission Impossible. I probably have a 3 or 4, somewhere around there, 3 or 4. And I enjoyed the way the story went because it brought back memories of how I first was brought into Mission Impossible. So once again, Tom Cruise is how Brandon just said, the last like really legitimate movie star that we have in our ranks. Like, he is it. When you think of movie star, Tom Cruise is that guy. And to be at 60 years old and to be able to still run with your shirt off and still look decent, big ups to you, Tom Cruise. I hope at 62 I can do half that stuff. But yeah, it's a good movie. It's really good. And I think it's probably going to end up being a top 10 movie in the box office, but not above 10.
Now, I have a question for you guys. Do you think this will make your top 10 movies of the year?
No.
I gotta wait a couple more months to kind of get a more solid idea of that.
Like the movie, man, this is already my top film
ever
of the year.
Well, I have 11 more movies to see. And then I make my list.
Collective movie, man, there's nothing better. There's nothing better that's come out this year. Nothing. There's nothing better has come out this year for me.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to wait and see.
I'm gonna have to hold off before I say that for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
definitely.
like I gave this a 3.5 on Letterbox. Just because I'm super stingy with 4s and like super even more stingy with 5s. But so a 3.5 is still made it in my top 5 for now. But
Mhm.
I mean, July alone might
Yeah,
kick it out of the
July.
top 10. Yeah. So
July might drop it down a little. So
yeah.
and then
So.
December I got Avatar 3 that I am super excited for.
Mhm.
That's gonna
And
be
those never disappoint me, so that might push it off.
They're
till
still
later.
not going to be better than what we just saw yesterday. There's nothing out here that's going to be better than what we saw yesterday. Nothing.
I'm gonna
Okay.
reserve judgment
Yeah.
because I'm not a time traveler, so um
Well,
we'll
yeah.
see. But yeah, the Avatar movies, I'm with you, Collector. Those are
But the
I like to go see
avatars
those.
really aren't that great. Let's be honest with you. They
No,
okay.
they're pure visual spectacle,
Visually,
and
the
that's
avatars are nice.
Jesus, dude.
I'm sorry, I have a delay.
Yeah, he's on a delay. So.
Can't tell.
They're pure visual spectacle, and I respect the fact that James Cameron spent years and years perfecting the tech for him. So
if I want bubble gum for my eyes, I could watch porn.
Bubblegum for
Where's the story?
Bubblegum for the eyes.
Where's the story?
Then he needs that as the next tagline.
As a porn has stories.
All right.
Ding
That's
dong.
funny.
Pizza
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I will not be invited on. I know I will not be invited on here no more. I'm sorry.
That's funny. That's funny. Oh man. But they will finish off with T's rating of 2.5. He said, just like Sully streams, that's for all my favorite movies.
Tank, I wanted to ask. When you do your Andor thing, could I be on for that?
Yeah, I mean, we've been trying to do it for a while now, so
yeah,
we'll
for a hot minute. Yeah,
we've been trying to do since it ended.
Mhm.
So yeah, but yeah, if we wind up doing one, I'll let you know. But yeah, most likely though, it probably will be last minute. But
I was going to actually suggest that we do it on offline.
Offline, probably that might
be our best bet
to get it done. Because
get it done.
Last of Us tomorrow, and then discussing that on Monday, and then say I want to push it to Thursday. Now Thursday's too long before it comes out. We need to get one done. So
yeah, get it out. Yeah. So yeah, we probably won't go live with it.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Because probably with the Lilo and Stitch, we probably won't do a live review for that either. But we'll do a review.
Yeah. I'm seeing Lilo and Stitch on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be the only one in my movie theater because it's at 12:40.
Mm-hmm.
At night?
No, 12:40 p.m. in the afternoon.
Okay. I was like, what?
Man. Kids are around. You'll be surprised.
Yeah. On a Tuesday, you might, because I think it's a summer vacation. Might no.
It might
Monday,
yes. Tuesday,
vacation.
no. Tuesday, no.
Yeah. Just fine. I think I was like the only we were only adults in that movie theater. Now I think about it, the closest one was maybe he was like 16, like he was a teenager already.
Oh
so,
wow.
Yeah, but I went in the middle of the day on a Thursday. So, but cool. Yeah, no, we appreciate you guys coming in and hanging out with us.
Now later, or never. Now later, but I already know the answer to this.
All of us are now. All of us got.
Yeah, I'd say easily. Yeah, this is definitely now.
I'm yesterday.
Definitely.
Watch it yesterday. I'm yesterday.
Yeah, his was time travel.
Yesterday. Yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Go back in time when you woke up in the morning. You should have went to the movie.
Exactly. Hey,
Oh man.
thank y'all so much, man. I really appreciate y'all, man.
Oh, absolutely,
I
man.
really
Yeah.
appreciate y'all so much, man. Thank y'all for having me on tonight, G.
I
Oh,
mean, if it was
absolutely.
any
So
movie,
much,
it had to be this
guys.
Thank
movie,
you
man.
so much, man. I love y'all, man.
I don't know if we could ever do a Tom Cruise movie and not have you around, man. Because
Seriously.
That's it. Anytime, it don't matter what his next movie is, you got to have me on.
I hear you.
You have to have me on for whatever his next movie is.
All right. We got
Thank
it.
you
I
so much,
appreciate y'all,
Kenny.
man. I love y'all, man. I'm out. I love y'all, man. Thank y'all so much.
Man, love you too, and
Love you too, buddy.
you guys. You know, appreciate you guys coming on here and spending. I know it's late, so I really appreciate you guys coming on with us.
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna try
Thank
to
you,
hang up. I
guys.
don't know if I can, but I'm gonna try to.
All right.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you,
Later.
B. Thank you, Collector.
Yep.
Right.
Bye. Thank you, guys.
Oh man, always a pleasure.
No, thank you. Appreciate you coming in, hanging out.
Yep.
See you later, Collector.
Later.
Right.
Yeah. And make sure you guys go check out Collector. He's doing his breakdown, his review, and his ranking tomorrow. But yeah, I think that's it from us. I feel like brand man right now with the yawn
Yeah.
right now. Like
I'm gonna plus I'm gonna get up like super early and start making my way back to the city.
yeah. Let's get out of here. Yeah, things the Last of Us show. I've started Last of Us 2 again, and the game is amazing. The game is awesome.
The game's really good, right?
It's better than this movie, this show that we're watching now. So
Cool. If you guys get a chance, check out Big Afford Entertainment, Anzo. Brian's gonna be on there for sure. I really want to try because I want to watch this thing live, and not wait a day. So definitely check out that for the Last of Us watch party. And then Monday, after you had all your barbecue and everything like that, we're gonna come and hang out with us while we talk about the movie or the show, the finale. So, but cool. Let's get out of here. Appreciate everyone hanging out. T, yeah, T was in there the whole time, so appreciate T.
Really appreciate
Maria, Fernando, Epitaxis, Joshua, and everyone else. Deuce for the follower, the gifted membership. So give out 5. So always appreciate Deuce for doing stuff like that. But let's get out of here. We will see you guys on Monday.
See you guys.
Later.
Later.
All right.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. We out here.